Welcome to the 1860 presidential debate. We're going to have to start off by having each candidate describe themselves a bit.
Thanks for the introduction. My name is Abraham Lincoln. I come from humble roots and now I look to be president of our great nation. I may not have a wealth of political background, but I am determined and willing to save this nation.
I am Stephen Douglas. As a Jacksonian, I helped to form the Democratic Party. I served 2 terms in the House of Representatives, and I have served in the Senate since 1847. Isn't that right, Lincoln?
Now wait a minute.
Mr. Douglas, that was uncalled for. Mr. Bell, you may speak now.
Good evening. This may be the only opportunity I have to speak tonight, but my name is John Bell. I have served in the United States Senate since 1847. I have the experience necessary to lead our nation to greatness.
I am John Breckenridge, and I have served as the state representative for my home country of Kentucky. I have also served 4 years in the House of Representatives and served as a vice president under President Buchanan as the youngest vice president yet. I may be youthly, but I am no neophyte. I have got what it takes to make this nation a success.
Alright then, we have a special section today where audience members send questions to us for you gentlemen to answer. The first question is for Mr. Douglas. Why do you hate slaves and minorities?
How dare you ask that question? First of all, I've never mentioned anything about hating minorities. Secondly, I've never said the words, I hate slaves. I believe that popular sovereignty should be applied to the issue of slavery. If a state wants to permit slaves, they have the right to do so.
Alright, okay. Our next question is addressed to Mr. Breckenridge. Do you support slavery or abolition?
I believe that slavery is necessary for our country. However, I recognize that it provides a significant issue to our country. So if I can assure Northerners and Southerners that I will make a compromise, they will approve of.
It's a touching speech, Mr. Breckenridge. Does that compromise involve ignoring the cries of abolitionists who wish to see all men free?
I would not ignore the North. I care about the protection of the Union, just like you.
Alright, with that, we're going to go to Mr. Bell. This question reads, do you understand the repercussions of ending slavery in the United States?
Wow, I got a chance to talk despite being 0.02% in the straw polls. But I didn't think I'd get to speak again, but my views on slavery are clearly outlined by the 3630 Compromise. Let slavery stand, but not expand.
What do you think, Mr. Lincoln? Do you understand the repercussions of ending slavery in the United States?
Of course I understand that it will cause problems, but all good things come from hard work. Once slavery is gone, we will toil day and night to restore our nation, and once we have emerged on the other side, we will have a better nation full of more righteous men. Let me ask you this. Do you think that the British considered the repercussions of enslaving Americans? Look what happened to them. I would rather give blacks their freedom than force them to rebellion.
If we allow an end to slavery, we destroy the people's rights to popular sovereignty. Let the people choose.
Mr. Douglas, calm down, please. Alright, on this, we will conclude our debate. Thank you.
I'm John Bell. I fully support the institution of slavery. It's the backbone to Southern society in the United States of America as a whole. I'm John Bell. I fully, wholeheartedly disapprove of any expansion of slavery because it is a detriment to American society.
My name is Hillary Clinton, and I approve this message. Go.
Southerners, how would you feel if someone took your property away from you?
Well, golly, I sure wouldn't like it, Mr. Breckenridge.
That's right. I don't. No one would.
Does that include slaves?
Of course it does.
Wonderful.
That is why you have got to elect me as the next president of the United States.
You got my vote, sir.
Sure do.
I hate slaves.
I let them keep their property.
I beg to differ. I think that the promise of abolition is quite strong.
And now we're going to announce the winner of the 1860 presidential election. The winner is Abraham Lincoln.
Wonderful! I'm gonna celebrate by going to Ford Theater with my wife.
In the commercials, we're just going to give you a few key points on each topic to show you the main point as to how the United States became what it is today.
Okay, so first, let's look at social tensions prior to 1856. The United States was divided on the issue of slavery, and tensions were flaring. The South supported prolonging slavery, whereas the North supported abolition. The election of 1856 was therefore very crucial in deciding whether a civil war would occur. Due to Buchanan's election as a pro-slavery politician, the can would be kicked down the road for another 4 years and war would be averted. However, in the later election of 1860, the results proved to be catastrophic for the Union.
The election of 1856 was won by James Buchanan. His main opponents were Fillmore and Fremont. By defending these two other politicians, Buchanan helped to avoid war for another few years, despite Fillmore's strong abolitionist sentiments. Had Fremont been elected, immediate secession would have occurred. Buchanan's election was a Democratic candidate in 1856, however, kept tensions at bay for 4 years. However, at the end of the 4 bitter years of unrest and continuous debates, Buchanan's public opinion had dropped significantly, and the country was even more engaged than prior to the election. Northerners were furious in this violation on democratic ideals and seemingly unfair economic and representational advantage. But their desire to uphold the Union prevented immediate civil war.
As we mentioned earlier, social tensions in 1860 would be at an all-time high. Lincoln and Douglas were perfect representations of both sides of the divided country. They foreshadowed this occurrence just 2 years ago prior in the famous Lincoln-Douglas debates in the U.S. Senate seat of Illinois. The outcome of this election would determine the state of the country. Lincoln's ability to solidify mostly Northern support propelled him to victory. The memory of Bleeding Kansas also played a role in the loss of Democrats and Stephen A. Douglas. In addition, Lincoln's election as Republican started the modern-day GOP that we see today as a part of the two-party system. All in all, tensions were at an all-time high, and this would prove to be the breaking point. Civil war was impending at this point.
Go.
Lincoln's election in 1860 had obviously infuriated many pro-slavery Southerners. In fact, South Carolina would be the first to act and secede just a month after Lincoln's victory. Many other Southern states would follow in South Carolina's footsteps and form the Confederacy. Rising tensions would therefore lead to the Civil War, and one of the main reasons was whether slavery was right or not in terms of both economics and morals. However, if there was any man capable of leading a divided nation and reuniting it, that man was Abraham Lincoln. His leadership during the War and early Reconstruction period was crucial to the survival of the United States, but his legacy was cut short by a dramatic scene at Ford's Theater.
Because I got family to support. I have to go somewhere else now. Yeah.
Damn it. Alright, we'll have to See, we need to crack down on immigration to get people out like this. Crack down on immigration today by voting these nuts for president. Thank you.
Southerners How would you feel if someone took your... Okay, restart.
Alright, okay, alright. Get bruh! Alright, 3, 2, 1.
I fully Alright, Duncan.
He's like ready for me to